Hello, dear students. In our lesson today, we are going to revise the reported speech. So, the reported speech is based on the direct speech. We have people communicating, and then in the reported speech, we have what these people said. Let's take an example. We have Emma and Helen. So Emma says, "How often do you play video games?" And Helen answers, "I play every day." So this is the direct speech. Now that we want to say what somebody else has already said, we are using the reported speech. And what is that? Let's see it together. Helen said, so we have Helen that spoke, that she, so Helen, played video games every day. So Helen played, and that is logical because she doesn't play now. We are saying what Helen did, so she played. For you to understand, the reported speech is based on the fact that we go 1/10 back. So, whatever is in the present becomes in the past. For example, if our tense is in the present simple, for example, the verb play, then it is going to become played. So present simple becomes a past simple. Present continuous, is playing, is going to become was playing. So in the past continuous. The present perfect will become a past perfect. The past simple, it could be past simple, or we change it 1/10 back, as we said, past perfect. The past perfect, it's already in the past, so we're going to leave it as it is. So past perfect remains past perfect. Can, in the present, is going to be done. Could, of course, so can becomes could. Will, that is in the present, is going to become would. And if we have the verb be going to, so I am going to, you are going to, he is going to, then it's going to become was going to or were going to. Apart from the tenses, so we have the changes in the verbs, in the tenses, we have some other changes in the reported speech. For example, the word this, that refers to now, is going to become that. So this book is going to be changed into that book. If it is in the plural, these is going to be changed into those. If we have pronouns, I or we, depending on who is speaking, is going to be changed into he, she, or they. Me or us is going to be changed into him, her, or them, of course, depending on, again, on who is speaking. My book, if we're changing that and it's a girl or a boy, it's going to be changed into his or her, and our is going to be turned into their. So we saw the changes into the tenses, the changes into some pronouns, some words, and also we have some changes in some time expressions. So we said whatever is in the present becomes in the past. So if we have the word now in the direct speech, it's going to be changed into then or at that moment. You can learn just one of those so that you can use. Today is going to be changed into that day. Yesterday, we can use the previous day or the day before. 2 days ago, be careful. The only thing that is going to be changed is the word ago. So 2 days ago becomes 2 days before. Tomorrow is going to be done into the following or the next day. And of course, here is going to be changed into there, of course. And of course, if you think of that, it really makes sense because we are saying what somebody else has already said, and it is not now. Now, let's take a few examples for you to understand even better. The first sentence in the direct speech. I have never heard of this artist, said Susan. So which are the steps in order to change the direct speech into the reported speech? So we've got Susan said. This is how we start. She, that, we can omit it or not. That she, and we're saying she and not I because it's Susan speaking. She had never heard. We're using the past perfect because here we have the present perfect, have heard, which is transformed into the past perfect, had heard of that artist. So the word this becomes that, as we said. The second example. Dad, I am meeting Anne tomorrow, said Helen. So we start, Helen said, or since we have the person here, Helen told Dad that she, because it is Helen speaking, she. It is the verb to be in the past was. She was meeting Anne. The word tomorrow we said changes. So meeting Anne the following day. So we're changing all those words that we saw. The tenses, the time expressions, the pronouns, those words that show the place. One more example. I can sell you some of my pictures, Paul said to me. So Paul told me, so the verb said to again changes into told me that he, because it's Paul speaking, he, I cannot say I, he. The verb can goes in the past and becomes could. He could sell me because he told me some of his pictures. So the word my becomes his because it's Paul's. We're talking about Paul's pictures. Okay, we finished with the statements, so with the simple sentences. Now we're going to continue with the questions. First thing that I want you to keep in mind when we're talking about questions is that if in the direct speech we have a question, so we have a question mark, has Jenny answered all the questions? Here we have a question. When we change it into the reported speech, there is no more question anymore. We have an affirmative sentence, so no more question. Which are the steps? We take a look at the question. This is a yes or no question. Why is that? Because if we answer, has Jenny answered? We can either say yes, she has, or no, she hasn't. And for this reason, this is called a yes or no question. So which are the steps? First of all, Tom asked, as it is. If is the first thing. So if we have a yes or no question, we put if. Then we put the subject. So who? Jenny, the subject. And then we change the tense as we learned. We go one tense back. So it was present perfect, has answered. it goes 1/10 back, had answered. So, 3 steps to keep in mind. If, then the subject, who, then the change in the tense. So 1/10 back. And of course, we never forget that we don't have a question anymore, but we have an affirmative sentence, a simple sentence. Apart from the yes-no questions, we have the WH questions. So questions that start with a WH word. When, why, who, what. So we're going to keep this word when we change it into the reported speech. When did John and Mary split up? Sam asked us. We start in the same way that we learned. So, Sam asked us. First, we keep the WH word, when. Second, we put the subject, so who, John and Mary. And the third thing, we change the tense. So, here we had the past simple. We put the past perfect. So, split, and we have had split up. And of course, we don't forget that we don't have a question anymore. We have an affirmative sentence. Let's move on. Now, we are going to see the imperative form. Imperative means to have an order. All right, so we have the example. Please stop talking. The director asked us. When we have an order, the only thing that you should keep in mind is the word to. So the director asked us to stop talking. That's the only thing that you should keep into your mind. It's very easy. Whereas, if we have a negative order, for example, don't take any photos of me, Sue said to Tom. So Sue told Tom, now it's negative, not to take any photos of her. So, positive order, to stop, to go, to do something. Negative order, not to go, not to do. So, that is the end, a very short explanation of the reported statements, the reported questions, and the orders. Revise a lot and do as many exercises as possible. Goodbye.